her 58th birthday. I was there at the finish line. I did not run it with her. Marathons aren't really my thing. But it's, she had a major transformation. She lost 35 pounds. She got over this depression that she was dealing with. She had more energy than she had had in a long time. She was sleeping throughout the night. It was just a lot of the things that she wasn't able to have in her life. She kind of got back after these protocols, and it was a lot of supplementation. It was essential oils. It was food. It was a combination of things, and we'll be talking about that later on. But I just love to share this story. Not only have I personally overcome it, but I was then able to help my mama, and then I've worked with thousands and thousands of women before and after my mom. But I wanted to just share this story because, so often, and I'm grown as well. I'm in perimenopause, and sometimes it's nice to see or nice to hear of a story that's just not myself, but someone near and dear to me who've had some of the same successes that I had with the protocols that we'll be sharing later.
Yeah, I want to point out Marisa's 39 and saying she's in perimenopause. So it's not just when you're 49, which is a lot of the misconception out there. It starts quite a bit sooner. It's just more of a gradual process. So Marisa's still very young and vital.
But yeah, no, I hit perimenopause at 35. It was like someone sucker punched me in the face with hormone issues. And I played a big role in that. I'm type A. I've written 7 books. I've done a lot of things. I kept very busy since I was in high school. I was running from one thing to the next, and I burned myself out at a really young age. My big hormone crisis happened in my late 20s, early 30s. And then even at 35, I hit another big slump. And so I find that this hormone journey continues to evolve over the years. I have a feeling that I'll have more of them as things begin to shift and change, into my 40s and into my 50s.
Yeah, that's a good point too. We just are always evolving. So I think people, when they're going through a hormone crisis, like you said, they kind of latch on to the age. A long time ago, I wrote an article called Riding the Hormonal Continuum, because it's just going to keep, the waves will keep happening, and we just have to keep adjusting to wherever we're at.
Yay for all of us.
Yay to be a woman. Okay, so have your hormones been hijacked? Here are our signs and symptoms. You want to talk a little bit about these, Marisa?
Yes, it is important. I do recommend getting tested. Definitive testing like the Dutch test is great. But so often there are some pretty telltale signs that something isn't right. You listen to your body, you can tell something isn't working properly. Hormones are simply chemical messengers, right? And when they're not functioning properly, we start to exhibit symptoms like this, like stubborn weight gain, no sustainable energy, fatigue, headaches, low libido, inability to sleep, roller coaster mood swings, cravings, vaginal dryness, anxious feelings, feeling wired and tired, brain fog. These are a lot of the things. When I start to see these symptoms pop up, usually hormones are involved. And it's not surprising at all. Hormones, again, that's, think about the job of estrogen. It has dozens and dozens of jobs from cognitive function to bone health to reproductive health to insulin regulation. Just estrogen alone is clearly playing a big role in just the normal function of our body, not just hot flashes and mood swings and PMS.
Yeah. I was going to mention we have our call on testing next week, so we'll get into that more. It'll be a lot of fun. Why are you not going forward?
I know you're controlling, girl. You are the
I got out of control
master.
Okay, so I took away some of Marisa's slides, so she might be a little surprised. We're not going to do the hormone system education.
You guys know your hormones, and you guys know how to take prescriptions, so we can move on.
Yep, there we go, done. But I don't know how much people know about essential oils in this group. I do find that even when people are into diet and the supplements, sometimes essential oils are still missing from that discussion, or some people just have like lavender and peppermint that they bought 10 years ago. So if anyone wants to share in the chat their experience, that's fine, but we're going to kind of assume you don't know a ton about essential oils, so we can get into some of the safety and what they're all about. So Marisa, you want to get us going here?
So yeah, so essential oils are like one of the most ancient medicine that we have, kind of ancient plant therapy. This is kind of what we had. You got to think about the advent of modern medicine, what 1900s, 1920s, not that long ago. And so before that, the hundreds and thousands of years prior to 1920 or early 1900s, we could only rely on herbs, essential oils, tinctures, those types of things. And so they are basically, in a nutshell, they are natural aromatic compounds found all over the plants, from stems to barks to flowers on the plants to kind of anywhere that you can actually, not every plant has an essential oil on it, or we don't necessarily use per se, but they really do come all over. They're all over plants. And so we're really leveraging this plant medicine to help support our biochemistry because, like, a lot of plants are very medicinal, as we all know.
Oh, someone's got some rockin' ringtone. Oh, here we go. I think my thing likes to delay a bit. Oh, there's that. That's funny. What's going on? There we go.
Okay. They're 50 to, I know these slides by heart, but they're 50 to 70 times more powerful than their dried herbs. And so a good example of that is peppermint oil. So like 1 drop of peppermint is the equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. And given that, you just want to be mindful about the potency of an essential oil as well, because a little goes a long way. And then they do contain dozens of unique metabolites and chemical constituents, and every oil is very different. And if you're working with a blend of oils, then you're working with even more chemical constituents. And we do know that 1 drop of oil can actually bring up to 42 molecules of that oil into every cell in the body. So lots of power there.
Wow.
Our bodies do not become resistant. So kind of like supplements, like food, your body's going to use it, metabolize it, and send it on out. So I really actually recommend consistent usage of oils, depending on what you're looking to work on. For instance, we use oils for sleep every night because we have created a neural pathway where when we pull out certain oils every night, the brain is like, okay, it's time to go to bed. So I've been using those same oils for 7 years. I know Bridget said 4 to 3, but it's been about 7 years I've been using oils, and some consistently 365 days out of the year, wow, every single night, without any concern or issue or any resistance. Like that oil has always worked, and I have a feeling it'll always work.
Yeah. Yeah, we can talk about oils for sleep if you have questions. I think that they're very powerful, more than people would imagine. And a lot of people are struggling with that, which goes on to affect your hormones. And
sleep is, you got to have it. And then what's so cool, more and more research is coming out. It's really, really fascinating to see all of the different hospitals and research facilities taking these on. One of the hospitals that I'm really excited about is the Huntsman Clinic. And the Huntsman Clinic, it's a cancer clinic. It's one of the most renowned cancer clinics here in the United States. And my grandfather has pancreatic cancer. And what was really great about his treatment protocols with pancreatic cancer is that he was recommended essential oils through his oncologist, because they do a ton of research on oils relating to supporting emotions, supporting cellular vitality, making sure that the body's working properly, and oils just play a really big role in that. So they do work on a cellular level. As I mentioned, they 42 plus molecules per cell. They're lipophilic, so they cross right through, and they can elicit a lot of powerful change, particularly around receptor sites. They can clean up receptor sites. They can help cell-to-cell communication, and they can also help to aid in mitochondrial function as well.
Yeah, this is a topic I'm very excited about. If you watch the bonus lesson on mitochondria, we talked about some of this. On the supplement lesson last week, we talked about some of this. And one of the couple things I recommended were phosphatidylcholine, which I love to help for cellular communication. And we talked about fish oil. So I think I'm going to be talking a lot more about this. We have a lot more to learn about it. And as we talk about detox later in this presentation, and with hormones too. We've talked about on this workshop that if your cells are inflamed, the hormones can't be received. So it's pretty amazing what they can do, and why I really think they're so important for every regimen. Let's see.
And then they are adaptogenic. And really what that means, I know that this word is thrown around. I was actually just interviewed on a podcast a couple minutes ago before getting on here. We're talking about adaptogens. And one of the ways that I find that oils can be very adaptogenic is in our hormone pathways. I think one of the pathways is the hypothalamic pituitary axis. And we know that when it gets overly upregulated a lot, we tend to have chronic stress. We're wired and tired. That's what's driving this quote unquote adrenal fatigue. It's really HPA axis fatigue. And one of the things that I love, besides using herbs like ashwagandha and rhodiola, depending if you can tolerate those types of herbs, they help to regulate and kind of down-regulate the overfiring of the HPA axis. Same thing with essential oils. We know that lavender, clary sage, ylang-ylang, bergamot can all do the same thing. So when I think about adaptogenic, not only do they help to support hormone balance, but also can help some of these pathways kind of reset themselves so that we're not over-responding to things that are not critical, we're not overfiring that autonomic nervous system.
Actually, Marisa, when I was on your Essential Oil Summit Facebook group the other day, someone was asking me about endometriosis, and I was talking about oils for hormone balance. She said, no, I need to lower estrogen. And I think the concept of balance and adaptation in the body are really important and what plants do so well. So we do want hormone balance. And when we put in a lot of these substances that we're going to talk about, the body does figure out what to do. You don't have to tell your body, go lower estrogen or go work on it. It just sort of reads the information that it's getting from the plants and does create hormone balance. So I think sometimes we think with herbs I need something to X, X goes to Y, but it's a little bit more nuanced than that.
I absolutely agree. Yeah. So the $1 million question so often that people ask me is, because there's a lot of oils out there. If you come to my house, if you come to my house right now, we've got multiple diffusers going. We've got oils everywhere. We're like an oil. We're an oil factory right now because we're sending out a bunch of little sample kits for the new thing that we're doing. And so, but the cool thing about oils is no matter how
Marisa?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can you just keep talking about the ways to use oils? I have to step away for 1 second.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'll be back in 1 minute.
Okay. So I can talk about the way to use oils all day long. So the great thing about it, I'm sitting in front of, I have my oil bag with me right here, and there are anywhere between 10 to 12 oils in this bag at all times. I've got some of my favorites out right now. I have jasmine and frankincense, and they're actually in rollers right here. They're in rollers. And so there's only 3 ways to use oils. And the first way is aromatic. So you can diffuse them in a diffuser, and I've got oil supplies everywhere around me. It's so funny. So here's one of my diffusers that we use in the house. And we have this running in our bedroom. We have them in our living room. We have them in our office space. And so one of the easiest ways to use oils is just simply diffusing them or breathing them in through aromatherapy. It's actually the fastest way to get the oils into the system is by breathing them in. And that's because oils cross through the alveoli, through the bloodstream, because they are so teeny, and they are voila in the bloodstream in less than 60 seconds upon breathing them in. So the easiest way, fastest way, probably the most effective way to create some pretty amazing changes, especially around stress, around emotional support, around respiratory support, is going to be aromatic. The next way is going to be topical. Topical, let's take this topical frankincense, for instance. You can use this. There's a lot of reasons to use frankincense, but when it's topical, how I want people to think about it is you are working on the area of concern. So if I were to have a stomach ache, or I have food poisoning or something like that, if I don't feel well, I would just apply a combination of diluted ginger, peppermint, and fennel to the area of concern, right, the stomach. And within a couple of minutes, you'd be amazed at how quickly that clears up. So topical area of concern, excuse me, I've been talking a lot today, I apologize. So then when it comes to other ways of topical usage, on the pulse points, so on the wrist, right here, on the neck, on the ankles, those are all great places as well. So pulse points are great because it kind of connects in with kind of getting into the bloodstream a little bit faster. And then other places on the feet, on the ears, you could do reflexology. All of those are great as well. It just really depends on your preference or what you're working on the body. Then the last way, which is the most controversial of the ways, is going to be internal. Now, internal may not be for you ever, and depending on the quality of oil, it just may not even be in the cards. You got to make sure that you're using a really high quality. But if you are considering internal use, it really needs to be for a very good reason. You know, are you helping to regulate blood sugar levels? Are you working with a systemic inflammatory issue? Is it cancer? Is it, you know, is it brain function that you're working with? And so it depends on the scenario. I don't want people just taking oils internally for no reason, but, you know, I do have people taking copaiba internally because it helps to stop seizures, or it helps to stop overspastic muscles. I've seen it over and over and over again. And so if that's the oil that works and it gets the job done and it's more natural than taking an anti-seizure medication, well, best believe I'm going to recommend it. And so, you know, it just really depends on the purpose for internal usage and why you're using it. I've seen a lot of great benefits happening. And then I also see people overusing oils internally a lot. So I just want to just mention that if you have a high quality oil and you're doing it for a very specific purpose, then it can make sense. But you don't ever have to use them internally. It's just an option if indeed you've got something systemic happening that you want to work on.
Am I in the right place?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so let's get into it, girls. So, whoops, did I go too far?
No, you're good. Yeah.
Okay.
We just hop on in.
Yeah, we're just gonna get on into here. Some of these are blends, so Marisa can maybe tell you a little bit more about each one, and we'll kind of show you pictures later. But you want to explain these 3 recipes and blends, Marisa?
Yeah, so I'm a big alchemist. I was a biochemist for many years before becoming a practitioner, and so the idea of playing with chemistry is a lot of fun to me, and I love playing. I love doing the research. And so these 3 oils, lavender, bergamot, and ylang ylang, have all been shown to reduce cortisol levels, to help regulate the hepatothalamic pituitary axis, are calming, are amazing, and that trio is just the bee's knees. It smells so good. So we diffuse it a lot. But then there's also blends. You know, if you don't have time, you want to have a blend on hand that just works. I do recommend having blends. I also love ease. Ease and grace is a big thing for me. And when I'm in a hurry, you know, using a blend that already has been researched to work and is already proprietarily, like it's been created for that purpose, then I'm going to lend on that as well. So it's like Serenity, Balance, Clary, Calm, Whisper, all really beautiful calming oils, all smell great. I use them for sleep. We use them for stress. We use them for hormones. There's a lot of different ways, and we'll get into more of these oils in just a moment. And then mood boosters. You're going to see that bergamot, citrus bliss, even elevation. It's a proprietary blend, but has citrus oils in it. You know, one of the fascinating things about citrus, and particularly the chemical constituents on citrus oils, the monoterpene and the limonene content, is that they have a profound impact on dopamine and serotonin receptors. So they boost mood. They're like sunshine in a bottle. So I highly recommend citrus oils for a lot of reasons, but mood boosting is a big one. I always tell people, you cannot stay mad or angry after breathing in a wild orange essential oil or a tangerine essential oil. It's really difficult. It's really also difficult to not, like, you don't feel as sad when you breathe an oil in like that. And so those are some of my favorite mood boosting essential oil blends.
Yeah, I haven't made this anti-stress blend, so I'm definitely going to have to do that. But some of these other ready-mades are some of my favorite: the Citrus Bliss, the Whisper, the Balance, Serenity. You know, we're talking about in-the-moment mood shifting, which I think is very valuable, just for quality of life. And then really, like Marisa talked about earlier, just changing those neural pathways on a more long-term basis too, because that high cortisol is going to affect your hormonal performance and a lot of things in your body. So just like having this signal, okay, now it's time to let go of that problem or whatever it is. It's really powerful. I think that, to me, the idea of like mind, body, and calming can sound a little bit like child's play, but it's not. It's really helpful. And that's why I think these oils are so powerful, because we don't always have like a half an hour to meditate or whatever, but we can sniff an oil in 10 seconds. And Marisa, you want to talk about that study that it actually has been found to lower cortisol that quickly?
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple studies. I mean, each and every one of these oils, and I don't have the references in front of me at the moment, but each and every one of these oils, lavender, bergamot, ylang ylang, clary sage, Roman chamomile, cedar wood, all have been researched independently to not only lower cortisol levels, but lower blood pressure and lower pulse. Because you can imagine they're all intertwined, right? When you go into fight or flight or the sympathetic nervous system, all those things are going to go up. So each and every one of those oils can support lowering stress levels at a chemical level within a matter of minutes, and then they really do pair beautifully together as well. So any combination of those oils are great. It's just a matter of playing with them. Sometimes for me, it's lavender, bergamot, and cedarwood, lavender, bergamot, and Roman chamomile. I love frankincense as well. Frankincense has a lot of sequiterpenes, and it's a very calming essential oil too. And so it's just really figuring out. Patchouli is another one. What you love. And I think that's what makes it so fun, is that you really get to kind of explore what works for you. A lot of the oils have very similar properties, in terms of, stress reduction or relaxation. And so, we like playing with it. And my husband has different blends that he loves more than I do. I usually win. I usually get to use my blends. But but yeah, we tend to kind of see, and like jasmine's an expensive oil, but it works as well. And if I'm feeling extra decadent, like I deserve jasmine that day, then I'm going to do it because I deserve it. So it just really depends. Lavender and bergamot are definitely on cedarwood are on the lower price point of those oils. You guys saw I had jasmine and frankincense out. Clearly, I do not have a problem with indulging in my oils and my really expensive ones.
And they last a long time.
They do last a long time.
They last a long time. And I would encourage people, I'm not just saying this from like a sales perspective, when I only had a few oils, I only used a few oils and I only knew a few oils. But as you grow your collection, you start to, Marisa's talking about figure out what you like, but I think it's also your body lets you know what it's responding to. For instance, this Whisper blend, when I first bought it a couple years ago, I didn't like it. And now I think it's like divine. I think it's just a little bit where your body's at. Same with like balance and serenity. I used to not like serenity and prefer the balance. And then I spent like a year the other way. Now I'm like, I don't know, there can be a lot of intuitiveness that comes from using them when you have more around, I would say. A little bit of thyroid, which is always a popular topic. You want to talk about this one, Marisa?
Yes, absolutely. So, I don't know how much we go into thyroid health inside of this group or in this particular program, but there's a lot of things that we can do to help support our thyroid. And yes, now there isn't as much research on thyroid with oils as there is with stress, as there is with other hormones. And it's just because it's probably not an area that has been explored. Now, there's a lot of anecdotal, there's a lot of small case studies. We haven't seen a lot of hospitals and research facilities working specifically on the thyroid. But we do know that oils are phenomenal for helping to support cellular vitality, helping to clean up mutations, and helping to kind of reduce inflammation in the body, which can all lead to thyroid issues. So I normally, oftentimes the thyroid issues are one of a couple of things. One, we've got gut problems, so we've got a fire somewhere. That fire is creating inflammation inside of the thyroid. We've got toxicity. That's another concern. And then we've got a lack of nutrition, right? That we're not getting the right nutrients to our thyroid. Would you agree on that, Bridget, honey?
Yeah, I think that's a start. And when, toxicity too, again, it's not always like a 1-for-1 with the oils. So a lot of these oils are like antioxidants and, anti-inflammatory. So there isn't frankly a direct way to treat autoimmunity. But these oils are super supportive. I use this, sometimes I just use lemongrass and myrrh in a carrier oil on my throat, and it feels amazing. But I'm getting a free clove this month with doTERRA. That was the oil of the month. And I have frankincense, so I'll have to play around with this recipe here. I think it feels very supportive to me, and I have super low level Hashimoto's. It just feels really supportive to me. I also have Epstein-Barr, and I feel like putting those oils on my neck seems to really just help like lymph and infection in my neck.
Absolutely. So I know you guys are okay. We'll get into the nitty gritty. I just wanted to kind of the assessment of why thyroid issues exist, or why autoimmunity exists, right?
Yeah,
There's still a
gut
lot of
and
unknowns there.
yeah.
But the great thing about it is tens of thousands of women use these oils on their thyroid with great success. And sometimes they're using it on a healthy thyroid to make sure that their thyroid stays healthy. We're all in this world, this toxic world that we're living in, we're all more prone to thyroid concerns than ever before. So, having every tool in your toolbox available to you, I think, is really important. So that recipe, again, clove, myrrh, lemongrass, I think it was frankincense as well. There's a couple variations of the recipe. That's usually mine. And I love it, highly diluted. So you're looking at a high dilution. You could do 5 to 6 drops of each oil in a 10 ml roller. So just to kind of give you a sense of that, I have a roller right here. And this is my Brain Fog Be Gone roller blend, because let me tell you, when I'm writing up a new podcast or finishing up a book, I need to be really focused. So this Brain Fog Be Gone blend, it is almost empty because I use it so much. But in a 10 ml roller like this, we're adding 5 to 6 drops of each of those oils. Those 4 oils were lemongrass, clove, myrrh, and frankincense. And the clove, you guys know, have been studied as a powerful antioxidant. If you look on the ORAC scale, it's actually one of the highest antioxidant herbs and foods that are out there in the world. And, clove, it's got amazing digestive support, oral health. It's great for inflammation. It's great for antioxidant properties. When it smells good in the fall and winter time. It's great for the immune system. It actually helps with gut infections. So we're specifically using clove oil over the thyroid for antioxidant support, and for free radical support, and for inflammation support. That's really where the clove comes into play. Lemongrass, same kind of thing. Lemongrass is great for circulatory support. It's great for inflammation. Myrrh and frankincense, again, with that secreterpene content, and so many of the other chemical constituents in those oils, they are great for cellular repair, and for helping with inflammation. So that's a lot of why we use those oils. Again, if you've got a fire in your thyroid, you got a fire in your gut, or wherever that fire is stemming from, really helping to quell that fire is what we're looking to do. And that's why those oils have been chosen and used and recommended for many, many years now. And then you'll see some other oils on there that we're recommending. DDR Prime is a DNA repair blend. That's what it's designed for. It repairs DNA.
Oh, wow. There we go.
And then you've got, clearly all the important nutritional recommendations, removing food sensitivities, making sure that you're getting all of your supplements, your selenium, your iron, all of those important B vitamins, all of the vitamins, right? All the vitamins and minerals that you need. So that gets done with, either a daily nutrient pack or whatever you're taking. Most likely you're probably on a supplement journey as we speak.
So Marisa, we're going to have to start triple timing our slides, because I know you have a date, like a appointment, and my son has baseball too, and I have a doTERRA event to go to. So I'm just going to go fast. And so we've talked about lowering cortisol, which is really important. We're talking now about thyroid. Signs of low progesterone, super common problem in women who are struggling with PMS, infertility. If you're going through perimenopause, you definitely have it. It just happens naturally as your egg quality declines. And here are some of the symptoms.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
then someone was asking about brain fog. So it's 5 to 6 drops of frankincense, wild orange, or a citrus, tangerine, lemon, grapefruit, whatever. I love wild orange. Rosemary, and then peppermint. So that's basically it, and then top it off. So that's and I also have those oils on my little aroma necklace too. So I'm always, because I love productivity and I love boosting brain power. I like to fire on all cylinders, and I find that oils get the job done when it comes to that. So if that's something you're interested in, those would be the oils. There is a proprietary blend called Motivate that has all those oils in it as well, and I tend to use that as often. Okay, so progesterone protocols. So low progesterone, that was my problem, and that is practically every woman's problem. As we are heading into, when we get terrible PMS, we head into perimenopause. progesterone is such a precious hormone, isn't it, Bridget? Like it
Yes.
is, it's the most precious. And
You always want more. You
you
never
always
want less.
you never want less. It's what keeps everyone happy in the household. So, progesterone, that's definitely been that was the thing that had tanked for my whole family, 0 to little progesterone, and Latinas with no progesterone, you just don't want to be in a room with all those ladies. So we're looking at, so one of my favorite oils is Clary Calm, and Clary Calm is such a powerful progesterone booster. It can really naturally help to boost progesterone because of the Vitex, the geranium, the ylang-ylang, even the Clary Sage in there. And then again, oftentimes the reason why we're losing progesterone is because we've got that pregnenolone steal with cortisol. And so, managing stress levels. How do we take care of our bodies, take care of our stress so that we're not stealing from our other hormones? Serenity and Balance is like the power duo for that. So those would be, I know I got to be fast. So that's that.
Next, we'll do a summary so we can. Yeah. So estrogen, this is we talked about this last week in the supplement one. A lot of people assume they have high estrogen, but they might have low estrogen. And again, a lot of these oils can just even you out. You don't have to exactly know, which is nice. You want to talk about these?
Yes, I do. Sorry, I'm just setting off. Okay. Yes. People always ask me, they're trying to figure out what's going on with estrogen levels. And you can actually have both. You can have low and high, right? So high can just be in relationship to progesterone levels. But you can still have low estrogen. That has been me. I've had low estrogen, but in relation to progesterone, it's still 1. And so, oftentimes, symptoms of high estrogen is very similar to symptoms of low progesterone. Fibrocystic breasts, weight gain, heavier regular periods, mood swings, headaches, breast tenderness, irritability. Those are all very classic signs. And then with low, we're looking at night sweats, depression, vaginal dryness, insomnia, hair loss, low libido, lack of concentration. And then again, estrogen becomes very precious to us as well. As we move into menopause and after menopause, the second it drops, we start to see other things, start to see other processes in the body shift. So I just wanted to just kind of lay the groundwork for that.
We got Clary Calm again.
We do. So it is adaptive. So it is not only great for helping to support progesterone levels, but it is also great for supporting estrogen levels as well. A lot of these oils also are great for helping the liver to metabolize excess estrogen metabolites, which gets us in trouble because how estrogen works is you're supposed to use it and then lose it. And if it ain't getting lost out the system, then we've got a problem on our hands, right? And that's either a sluggish digestive system or it is a unhappy, sluggish liver. So making sure that we are moving it out. I know you guys have probably gone into way more detail on that detox pathway, but just note that, the purpose is to help usher that estrogen out the door once we've used it. And that's why I love this oil so much, is it's been, my mama had the worst hot flashes. And we have a story of, she was coming to the airport. She was actually coming to visit me. She's only an hour flight away, but she had left her Clary Calm, and she was so afraid she was going to have a hot flash. And she gets into my car and doesn't even say anything to me, raffles through my purse, gets into my little bag, pulls out my Clary Calm, because I never travel without that oil, and just pulled down her pants right there at the airport just to put it on, because I always say area of concern. So she puts it on her ovaries. And but it was a sight to behold. But that was it's the oil. I've had so many women use this oil with great success for hot flashes, for a lot of those low estrogen symptoms.
Yeah, I'm cutting you off though. That was your last story.
Yeah.
So this is pretty amazing. Supporting the liver, as we have learned in this course, supporting enough progesterone, which everyone needs, and then balancing estrogen. And here's a few more recipes.
Yes, those are my protocols. So yeah, just take a picture of that.
Yeah, and we'll give out the recording as well.
I mean, these are all oils and combination supplements can really make the difference. And so, I mean, these are all kind of big needle movers. And all the years that I've been playing with the oils, I've been working with women, these have been kind of this is the successful combination for each of these things.
Yeah. And this is really valuable because, Marisa has been doing this a long, long time. She's about to put out this huge book about it. So these are this is nobody's business protocols. Yeah, you can go back to that slide when we'll get into more of these. Okay, here's a couple more areas.
even more great stuff, brain focus, concentration. Those are, I find that people really want more productivity. Cravings is a huge one. So Slim and Sassy and Lemon. Weight loss, again, Slim and Sassy. It's a blend. I know it's a ridiculous name, but it gets the job done. It's a metabolic blend, and it's great for cravings. You can even just diffuse it. It gets the job done. And then osteoporosis, you're looking at, bone nutrient supplementation, all that type of important supplements.
Yeah, we're mentioning some products we're not getting into as much, but some of these are like supplements through doTERRA. My husband uses this Mito to max, and he really likes it. He's so funny with his doTERRA supplements. Let's see here.
Yeah, I love the Mito to max. It's a mitochondrial booster.
Yeah. We learned mitochondria last week, and it has a lot of the components to create mitochondria. So here's a little bit more about some of Mariza's favorites, but I'm not going to let her talk about it.
Those are all my favorites that she won't let me talk about. And here's some testimonials that she won't let me share.
You can read.
What I get for spending too much time.
Everyone can read them quickly.
Yeah. So often women are coming to me with stubborn weight. That's a lot of what this new book is about. Like, how do we let go of that stubborn weight? The weight that no matter what we do, we cannot lose it. It's hormones. It always is. They're really running the show there. And so, that's a lot of what women have come to me for. Same thing here, extra weight, sleep issues. And so there's been a couple of kits that I found that I've kind of paired together, the core essentials that really get the job done. Oils that I use every single day without a shadow of a doubt. I don't ever stop using them, and that's what we've recommended to these women like Diana. I loved working with Diana. She's such a sweetheart.
Yeah, when your body starts making hormones again, it doesn't have to make it in the fat tissue, so you can lose some fat tissue. Oops. Yeah, this is our little kit we put together for you. So right now doTERRA is running a special where if you spend 100 points, which is more or less $100 plus your membership, you get $50 back, or 50 points. So these are the 5 that I think are a great start. I know sounds like someone doesn't like the smell of ylang ylang. I love it. I'm like addicted. That's like my queen oil. So we're all different. And I think, again, our bodies change at different times. We talked about the Clary Calm a lot. I think the ylang ylang is important because it gives you sex drive. I don't know if technically it boosts your estrogen. It seems like it just kind of boosts your hormone levels, and it reduces cortisol. So I love that oil. Peppermint is so important for hot flashes. It's a detox element. The balance is a blend that's very grounding and balances hormones. And the Slim and Sassy, whether you're trying to lose weight or not, I think this is a valuable oil. It helps for detoxification, moving lymph. It just helps for like sugar cravings, or if you feel kind of like you sink after a meal. It just helps you digest and keep things moving. So this is the 5 we put together, and they're pretty powerful oils. Plus you get some of our usual bonuses. Mariza runs an online training camp for the oils. We send you a little, I don't know if you can see me or not, but we send you a little guide by mail and some online resources. We have this hormone rescue protocol here for the people who are in the course, but not everybody here is in the course today. So anyway, let's get some bonuses, and that's the price with a membership of those 5 oils. So that's kind of the first kit I'm introducing today, this little hormone support kit. And again, that's that special. If you spend 100, you get 50. So it's great timing, because you can go back and buy a couple more things you wanted. You can buy a few gifts for Christmas. You get the extra points in December. It's a pretty awesome deal, because you're kind of like saving $50 on this kit, because you're going to get it back.
Well, you're saving more than that, right? You're saving on the wholesale as well. And so there's a lot of benefits. Someone asked about the Slim and Sassy. So Slim and Sassy is a metabolic blend. I use it most for cravings. So sugar cravings, salty cravings, any kind of cravings. It's also a blood sugar regulator, and it's great for helping to support the gut microbiome. So that oil is multifaceted. A lot of people have used it for weight loss. A lot of people have used it for boosting metabolism, but most people use it for cravings and insulin regulation. So that's what the Slim and Sassy oil is. And that's why I always recommend it because it's such a rock star of essential oil.
Yeah, it's a very interesting one. It has the worst name ever.
It's
We
the
can
yeah.
all agree. But it's a really nice oil. I'm putting the link for the hormone kit, since we're going kind of fast. I'm putting the hormone kit link in the chat. And then I have another link for the detox kit. So you can either get both of them or you can just get one of them and add some things. Obviously, if you get both of them, you only need to buy a membership once. So it would save some money. Rosie, you can do some and sassy internally for sure. A lot of the oils I do internally, I just like shake onto my tongue. I pretty much am licking the bottle, but I don't share it with anybody.
Yeah, it's one of those oils, especially if you are concerned about blood sugar regulation. You can, I did talk about the responsibility or how to be mindful and careful around internal usage. I'm not one to recommend just a ton of oils internally. But if indeed you're looking for a natural way to regulate blood sugar levels and insulin regulation, that would be an oil that you could use. And we're talking about one drop in a big, 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 big jug of water. I mean, a little goes a long way. Or you can even just take a toothpick inside and swirl it in your tea. That's oftentimes what I do. And so we're talking about maybe, a tenth of a drop in a tea. I do that every single morning. And because it's got such great detoxification properties. It's kind of like my detox tea because I'm using the Slim and Sassy.
Someone was asking what's in the balance one. It might be faster if you just go from your memory.
Oh, I know exactly what's in it.
Okay, go ahead.
So Hoewood, spruce, frankincense, blue tansy, and blue chamomile. So balance is a grounding blend. It's known to create cellular homeostasis. So get the body back in balance. That is the oil. And then I call it the stress reset blend. So it's like being in the woods. It's very like it's my husband's hands down his favorite essential oil, and it's probably one of doTERRA's top 10 oils because it is so powerful and calming, and it gets the job done.
And it's a scent of a new deodorant they have too. Okay, so we have 10 minutes for detox. So I'm gonna crush this detox. These are just some of the benefits of detoxing with essential oils. I think there's quite a longer list. This one I just learned recently about how it opens up the bile ducts. And as we learned in I think it was a nutrition lesson, that's a pretty amazing thing that we can do with herbs and foods. And it's so important for detox. So some of the oils actually do that we're going to present today. Marisa's going to laugh because I didn't want to put this oil in the set. This is, I quoted the scent of it, herbaceous, pungent, floral. There's a lot going on in this oil. But as I was doing my research, every single one of these is like a home run oil. It's very strong. It's not an oil you're going to use for perfume. But it's an oil that's going to get the job done.
Yes, it's a powerful oil. It's like the Slim and Sassy of detoxification, from heavy metal detoxification to gut support to lymphatics. I mean, that is the oil. And here you go. Here's the list.
Yeah, and these are just like some of the properties. I can't, I only had so much space here. These are just a few of the highlights, and they kind of all support each other. So pretty amazing. A lot of these oils actually help for glutathione production and mobilization, which is pretty cool. The cilantro is good for heavy metals. I'm putting here, to use it on you notice I'm putting away from my nose, Marisa. Put it on the bottom of your feet, and you can actually put some socks on and go in your sauna and get an even like deeper effect to get it to absorb, or just put on some socks.
Yeah, I do a detox bath, but I also do castor oil packs, and I do that with Cindercrene as well.
Nice. I like that tip. Lemongrass we talked about with thyroid, and it's one of my favorite oils as an antioxidant. So I added it in here in this little detox package. There's something like, to me, intuitively, that's very powerful about lemongrass. So I added that to the kit. It's a pretty affordable oil, actually. So it may, get a little bit more out of it. Again, I talked about my use to use it on the thyroid. It is hot, so it's one that you might not want to use straight because it'll warm up your skin. And turmeric, our new star of the show in doTERRA, did you say it's like 10 times more bioavailable than the herb?
10 times more bioavailable than the powder form. Remember, when you are working with the lipophilic version of an oil of a product like this or a plant like this, it just slides right into the cells. It doesn't ask permission. I mean, it does. There's a lot of permission being asked here, but it's your cells are just like, come on in.
You don't have to digest it.
Yeah.
It just goes in. It's like 60% absorption on your skin. I use this right in my mouth. I know some people are using it in capsules as well. Again, this is just like tip of the iceberg of what turmeric does. It's so amazing to have around your house. I've been using it. I wrote in the chat in my chai tea, and I'll probably come up with like a special recipe. I just think it's so diverse, and almost all of us are dealing with inflammation. So again, it's going to help your hormonal communication as well. Here's a couple ways to use it. Because it's kind of does some effects to the brain, I think it's also possible to use like just on your ear area, behind your ear, because that's like historically with acupuncture, like a very potent area. And then I included grapefruit, which is a great lymph mover. It's well known for weight loss, for appetite, and it's good for cellulite. But you don't have to be wanting to lose weight to use it. It's just an antioxidant, high in vitamin C, against candida, which a lot of people have, mold, which we've talked about on the group, another one that moves bile, supports hormone. I mean, this oil is amazing.
It's amazing.
It's from a grapefruit.
And it does not contraindicate medication. So it's not, it's the juice of a grapefruit that we really need to be mindful of.
The peel,
yes. The peel. So there's no concern for contraindication for like statins or cholesterol meds or whatever someone may be taking.
Yeah. Marisa, I think you can see the chat and I can't, so feel free to type in there as you go. It's just because I got full screen here. And then number 5, the last one in this little group is DigestZen. So DigestZen, Marisa and I talked about having in this pack because you need your digestion working to not have inflammation in your gut and absorb your nutrients. But actually a lot of these oils are detoxifiers as well. The peppermint, the ginger, the fennel. So there's just like double duty really here. You're getting a detox oil as you work on your digestion. It helps stimulate the digestive process. So you're just, eventually going to be able to eat more foods without feeling bloated all the time. And it's a great like digestive bitter. You can put it on your tongue before a meal. If you ate too much or you're feeling off, you can use that way as well. But I think this is a great one to use 2-3 times a day just to support digestion and detoxification. Here's some ways that I use it. And here's our little detox pack. So you got 5 oils in here. It's about the same price as the other. It's a little cheaper actually. And these are some pretty hot oils. Marisa's going to be proud of me because I made a blend. I'm like, I've been so lazy about saying blend. So I'm just going to blend these babies up. And I put them in maybe a little strong because Marisa and I both, we like our oils. I like my oils strong. I don't want them all weighted down. So basically here's like a carrier oil bottle. You can buy these on Amazon. And then you need a carrier oil like this fractionated coconut oil. And I'm actually raffling one of those today. You can mess around with this formula where you can just, try it straight like that. And then you have it handy if you're traveling. You don't have to bring like 5 oils with you, right? So that could be really handy. Just apply it. If you want to work on something that's chronic, you need to use it 2 or 3 times a day. That's something that Marisa taught me that has really, I really have found to be true. So if you just only have a headache once a week or whatever, then you only have to work on a headache once a week. But if you have monthly continual hormone issues, you need to work on them daily and digestive as well.
100%. Daily usage is the key. Like I told you guys earlier, our bodies are metabolizing these oils. I mean, can you use too much at once? Yes. And what happens in those moments is your body's like, whoa, we got enough. We're going to send the rest out. So it becomes that you're just wasting product. It's not effective. And we're talking about a lot of oil to do that, but it's after 2 to 3 hours, your body metabolizes it, send it on out once it's been used. So we're not holding on to these oils, so you're not like building up, an oil supply inside of the body. Just to be mindful of that. That's why daily usage is so important for the immune system, for the digestive system, for brain function, for hormones, for detoxification, that blend is very similar to some of the very similar blend that Bridget just showed. I have in my bathroom, and I apply it to the bottom of my feet every single day. And then once a week, I do a detox bath with a lot of those oils too, because, might as well. And then I love, like I said, castor oil packs. We use those often. So just lots of different ways that you can integrate these oils into your detoxification practices. People apply oils before they do dry brushing. That's something to consider.
Yeah, you can do that for cellulite and moving lymph. We've talked about dry brushing in this course. I just made a little form for each of these. And if you want to write me a special note, like, I don't like ylang ylang, switch it out or something.
You can totally do that.
And we'll just get back to you as needed. Again, this is the special of the month. If you want to add something extra to your order to make it 125 points, you get a free clove oil, which is a lovely oil for, like they're mentioning, dental care, heart health. And I think it's just fun for recipes and diffusing in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
All right, look at us. We got getting through it. So
we did it.
Yeah. So those 2 links will be in the chat. And
I mean, she cut me off a lot.
I cut it. Good thing I got it.
But we did
back.
it. I know.
There's somewhere to go, so I wanted to keep an eye. Any last questions? Anyway, I can stay on a bit longer, but I know Marisa has to go in a minute. Any last questions from anyone? You can unmute yourself, or you can.
I loved a lot of the detoxification information, Bridget. I just, you learn something every time. I learned a little something today just because I was, it's been a little while. I use so many of the oils. It's always nice to kind of refresh. But I was like, oh, that's right. I forgot that lemongrass did that, and so.
I think it's, God, I think I'm going to go deep. When I started to see it was open up bile ducts, I was like, oh gosh, this is on. I want to know what else these oils.
Well, a lot of people struggle, right, with bile duct issues, gallbladder issues. I mean, so being able to see how these oils can really impact our ability to function and clean things up. In my book, The Smart Mom's Guide, it was all about how to create an external, non-toxic environment. And you can leverage essential oils to make over all of your cleaning products, make over all of your beauty care, make over pretty much everything. And that's not even just the internal approach, because you and I both know that the best way to reduce your toxic load is avoidance. And, that's how we use oils specifically so that we can avoid using toxins. So
that's awesome. Yeah. Do you want to hold up your book there that's coming out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right here. But look at that. It's just right here.
Convenient.
How convenient.
It comes out. I got to memorize this date. I'm horrible. February?
So it comes out February 12th. It's already, people are already buying it like hotcakes, but it is nice to buy a book and then get a book. I get that. But here it is. It's called The Essential Oil Hormone Solution. 40 pages of bibliography. Like, I think hundreds of articles were cited for this book. And it's just, we cover the gamut of hormone concerns. So I'm really excited about it. 15 months in the making, and I am done with edits, baby. It's over. We actually, I just got a new case of book galleys. And so the publisher sends you book galleys when you're giving them out to influencers, and a brand new case of book galleys came in the mail today. And oh my gosh, it's like Christmas when they send you your books. And so as you can imagine, I'm pretty darn excited about this book coming out.
Yeah, well, you'll be hearing more about it if you're on my list or on Marisa's email list. So we'll definitely be talking a lot about it. Someone had a good question. Rosie had a question about like order of things when you're detoxing. And I think that the oils won't be so harsh as do, occasionally, but mostly more supplements will be harsher. But that being said, you do want to make sure your gut is working, because things will be passing through there. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah. Have you seen many side effects from just using straight oils?
You can. If you go super heavy, you go super hard, and you haven't cleaned up. I mean, the gut is the first thing we got to clean up, right? We got to get those pathways open. So, one of my go-to oils for helping to really support gut inflammation or acute gut issues is going to be the Digest Zen. That oil is a miracle worker. I have seen so many studies on that oil because of the gentleness of it. the type of oils they use, and then lemon and grapefruit. Those are such safe oils as well to use. I love the turmeric, but I mean, it's bringing, a powerful punch. And not to say that people shouldn't be taking turmeric, they should, because of all of the anti-cancer properties. And my grandfather, the minute that turmeric oil came out, it's one of the number one well researched herbs for pancreatic cancer. We had him on a lot of turmeric, but that oil came out, and I shipped it the second I got it to my grandfather. And so, but we've cleaned up a lot of his detox pathways. He's doing really great in that sense.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, so I mean, it's just figuring out for yourself what works for you. I think also doing the baths are very gentle as well. And, I'd start with only 1 or 2 drops of essential oils in your baths to start. But that Digestion and the citruses are very gentle, and really they move big levers without causing a lot of turmoil in the body.
Yeah, Rosie, you might want to start like one by one. That's fine. I mean, again, I don't think they're as harsh as, let's just say herbs are harsh, but supplements can be a lot.
Go and clean up. Think about like, you've ever swept up a dirty room and everything just comes up. That's kind of like how supplements can be, right? They go in and they just kind of stir the pot sometimes. And that can be not a lot of fun. So I don't find that the oils are big pot stirrers. Their real job is to create balance, not to go in and stir up a bunch of mess.
Yeah, and I'll also say, Rosie, like as you start to use them more, you'll get intuitive, and you'll kind of, I do, so I think everyone does. You just sort of latch on, and like I gave a formula all equal, but you might want to go heavy on the Digestion, and I'll probably go light on the endocrine because I don't like the smell. You're gonna get a sense of what your body needs. But yeah, you could also just go one by one. Marisa, I think we better close up. I really want to thank you for your time. It was so fun.
Thanks, ladies. It's such a pleasure for allowing me to come on. Thank you, Bridget, for letting me quickly share my information with everybody today.
I'll give you a little more time next time.
No worries, girl.
All right. Good night, everyone. I'll answer a couple more things on the chat, and then I'll post this recording, and we'll take this later as well. Bye, everybody.